Junkyard, the 1982 album by The Birthday Party. The Birthday Party were an Australian band famous for being Nick Cave's first recorded venture. The Birthday Party also included Mick Harvey, a multi-instrumentalist who went on to become Nick Cave's musical partner, co-writer and arranger in his next band, The Bad Seeds. Post-punk rock went into two very different directions. There was the poppy commercial power pop of Adam and the Ants, or XTC, or the New Romantics, and there was the much darker, noisier sound of bands like Bauhaus, The Fall and The Birthday Party. It seemed in the early 80s that when John Peel was not playing The Fall, he was playing The Birthday Party, but I made no attempt to get into these bands at the time. I was only vaguely interested in Public Image and Joy Division. I was a prisoner of rock and roll and a disciple of soul. To be honest, there is a world of difference to listening to this LP on a reasonable sound system or hearing it coming out of a tiny transistor radio speaker. I acquired this record years ago, but I've only recently had a turntable, amp and speakers capable of doing it justice. It is a sonic experience of sharp stabbing guitars in a variety of textures and tones. It has a solid, dark, deep picked bass, and it has drums that refuse to play the kind of simple, constant beat that makes most musical experimentation palatable. Instead, it has the chaotic sound of Beefheart's Trout Mask replica, but with early 80s production values. I have a Best of the Birthday Party CD that has a number of tracks where the chaos is layered over steady tribal beats. Tracks such as their best-known song, Release the Bats. These songs are verging on being fun to listen to, but I have to admire the way they have taken so much effort on this album to avoid being commercial. Apparently they thought they were getting too slick. The music has traces of punk, rockabilly, blues and free jazz, and like the equally chaotic sounding Trout Mask replica, a lot of thought and a fair amount of rehearsal must have gone into arranging the staccato spiky guitar parts. Coming to The Birthday Party after years of listening to Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, I can see that what I might at the time have thought was random might actually have been intentional. At the time of this album, I thought Nick Cave was just a fashion statement, and there is little evidence of any of the tunefulness that came out on any of his later albums like The Boatman's Call. The lyrics are violent, snarled and shouted, and he sings in a higher register to his later dark baritone. It is all fairly unintelligible. I don't think if this album came out now it would be considered that challenging, especially for anyone who likes Tom Waits' post-Swordfish Trombones music. Junkyard, The Birthday Party.